Well, Democratic Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett is going viral for all the wrong reasons. Here she was during a speech at the Human Rights Campaign Los Angeles dinner.
A lot of people see you out front fighting, but nobody's really asking you, what do you need to maintain that fight? So thank you so much, Morgan, because we in these hot Texas streets, honey. Y'all know we got Governor Hot Wheels down there. Come on now. And the only thing hot about him is that he is a hot mess, honey. So yes.
Congresswoman Jasmine Crockett also had some fighting words for Republicans and Senator Ted Cruz earlier this month. During an interview with NBC DFW, the interviewers asked her how Democrats could win elections in a red state like Texas. Here's her response.
I think you punch. I think you're okay with you okay with punching. You know, I think, and I love Colin, and I think towards the end he started to punch a little harder. But like, it's Ted Cruz. I mean, like, this dude has to be knocked over the head, like, hard, right? Like, there is no niceties with him, like, at all. Like, you go clean off on him.
CNN pundit Scott Jennings tweeted, the governor of Texas, Greg Abbott, has used a wheelchair since 1984 when he was tragically paralyzed in an accident. Today, the unquestioned leader of the Democratic Party, Representative Jasmine Crockett, mocked him with the insult, Governor Hot Wheels. So that is why that is indeed a really cruel thing to say about him, Governor Hot Wheels. He's in a wheelchair. I think that's a really gross comment. And whatever, I'm not the biggest person being there like, oh, we all can only have civility. You can never make fun of people, whatever. But when Democrats or liberals act like it's just, there's only cruelty on the right, and it's just the Trump people who are so callous, and then she's at an awards dinner for the Human Rights Campaign, for the very people who aspire to some kind of loftier rhetoric and humane treatment, and that's what she says? Oh my goodness.
You can't imagine any president on the left or the right talking that way 20, 30 years ago, and just the diminishment of the level of discourse is wrong. She's not, however, the undisputed leader of the Democratic Party, so don't try to lay that on us. I think she's doing a lot of good work, but I certainly don't appreciate that comment. I don't think it's good for Democrats, and it's not good for disabled people. It's not good, but...
Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear you say that. I think it was
of course.
Very, very bad, very offensive. I guess I don't, and then the punt hitting, Ted, she meant it, rhetorically, fine. I don't think she meant to actually advocate violence.
No. She said Democrats have to hit harder, and a lot of people feel that way.
I know,
but he was in a tough spot because he was.
But when
Texas,
conservatives say that, then then they say, oh, this is more of that violent right-wing rhetoric. I think there's too much.
We're not the ones who had pictures of crosshairs. I don't think she meant anything like
pictures
that.
They
did.
Who cares?
That was not us. But you know what? That's not the level of.
And that was wrongly blamed for the shooting of Gabrielle Giffords. It had nothing to do with that.
Oh no, I didn't say that the Republicans shot Gabby Giffords.
No. But the line that, in fact, that the New York Times used was that the shooter was motivated by the violent rhetoric of Republicans, and they pointed to what you just pointed to, the targets over districts. Mm-hmm. There's no evidence whatsoever. He did not, in fact, ever see that. He was not
Republican motivated. How do you have evidence for what is going on in someone's mind? But I don't conclude that he was guided by that or influenced by that. I think all of us just need to learn a lesson. We must become more nonviolent in our hearts. We must become kinder. We must become more respectful. That's why I think when you and I do agree on something, I hope we're modeling something that's good for people, because I agree with Eisenhower that the American mind at its best is both liberal and conservative. There are high-minded conservative principles. There are high-minded liberal principles. No one has a monopoly on truth. No one owns this country. The greatness of America is that we don't have to agree. Mm-hmm. The greatness of America is e pluribus unum. We don't have to pray the same way, look the same way, talk the same way, believe the same way. We are united by our common fealty to certain underlying principles. And in that place, we're all Americans. We have to get back to that. We are losing the fabric, the social fabric that makes us United States. We're becoming every day more disunited states. And I think each and every one of us have to take responsibility for reweaving that fabric. And That's why when we can agree, let's do agree and certainly see the common humanity in each other. I see the common humanity in you. You see the
see the humanity in you as well, of course, Marianne. And I don't love violent rhetoric either. Sometimes with the pointing guns at liberal media, TVs, and shooting them. Like,
horrible.
Okay, come on, guys. In fact, I just find it distracting. Like, actually work to achieve policies that I think would be good instead of just this kind of tough guy posturing that a lot of people do on the right that I find unhelpful. But this is an example of it's not tough guy necessarily, but it's a kind of posturing going on among the resistance media that what is she actually doing to thwart?
All she said was hit him harder. I mean, that wasn't violent language. That wasn't violent language. Where I am.
Do you think she's being effective? What is she being effective at? It's just.
She was talking about a race in Texas where Colin Allred didn't come out against Ted Cruz in the way that she thought he should because he knew how many conservatives he had to deal with in a red state. And some of it, I agree with her more that we've just got to come tougher. We've got to come at it. We've got to, in that sense, fight harder. That doesn't mean you hit somebody or shoot somebody. It just means in the political rough and tumble, sometimes you got to fight harder. I look at my own situations in places where I should have fought harder.
I mean, it depends what that means by fighting harder. Like
working
harder.
No, it means coming. In political terms, it means, in my case, it would have meant responding more to my critics, more passionate to my critics, pointing out where they were lying and all of that kind of stuff. But you always have to say, well, does that sound defensive and all of that kind of stuff. But the point is, we do need to hit harder politically, non-violently, at people that we feel are truly gutting the U.S. government and causing tremendous problems for many, many people.
Very interested to see if the Human Rights Campaign denounces the person they just celebrated at their dinner for the remark she made, Jasmine Crockett.
Well, we just did, so they don't need to.
I think they might feel some pressure to respond to who they are platforming, use an expression. Democrats love. Okay, we've got more to come on Rising. Stay with us.